Adventure Land in Lenox, Alabama, September 28, 2023. Tonight, comments on comments and question answer. If you call in or text in, we'll take yours top of the pile, right? Yep. Anyway, I got a whole bunch lined up here. We're the folks who believe the Bible is true. God made everything in 6 days. Like he said, that includes dinosaurs. So you can follow us on Rumble, on Genesis Baptist Church, on YouTube, and on Kent Hovind Official on Odyssey, and some more places on DrDino.com. And Fred visiting with us tonight from Minnesota, drove his motorcycle down here. Good to have you here, brother. We'll give you the grand tour tomorrow. Okay. All right. The fool said in his heart, there's no God. If you don't believe in God, I'm sorry, you're a fool. I have to second that emotion, okay? How can anyone not see a designer in this? Would that scare off the birds wanting to eat that moth, thinking it's an owl? Yeah. Does the moth know he's got that on his back? How about this guy? Long neck. Does he know? He looks dumb. Okay. How can anybody believe this happened by chance or this? I mean, I don't understand you atheists. I'm trying to help you. I really am. Okay. So tonight, the 28th, comments. What do you do when it looks hopeless? The testimony we gave from the book of James. Exodus chapter 2. Let's see. Thorough study, solid, should be message, misspelled there. I appreciate you and your time, effort, and energy you put into all your service into the Lord and the flock he's given you. God bless you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for today's Bible study. Always helpful, but especially this one. Well, good. Spread it around. That's all I ask. Please tell others about it. Send links. Like it and share it with other people. Okay? We want to change the whole world. I used to live on Jurassic Coast in UK. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. No, you didn't. They might call it Jurassic Coast, but there's no such thing as a Jurassic period. All right. It is very popular with fossil hunters. Okay. There's lots of places like that. You know, it's interesting. Fossils don't form today at all that we see happening. Certainly not in the trillions like we find in the ground. You'd almost think there was a big flood, like the Bible says, that made all the fossils at the same time, don't you? Perhaps Kent can explain why there are no modern animals found amongst these ancient fossils anywhere in the world. Well, first place, Steve, I don't know that there aren't, and you don't know that either, okay? See, people are so prejudiced with this stupid geologic column, they think, wow, this layer should only contain, certain kinds of fossils. And if they find something in there that doesn't fit, they'll find a way to explain it instead of just explain it away. Instead of just say, wow. See, the flood would have automatically sorted things based upon body density, based upon habitat, based upon mobility. So, I mean, why aren't humans found with buffalo? Well, humans don't hang out with buffalo very much. Buffalo hang out with each other. So, of course, they're going to be buried together. All right. Let's see. If Kent's beliefs are true, why are there no modern animals that are alive today? I think there's all kinds of animals alive today that are found as fossils. Thousands of them. We'll do a whole video on that one of these days. So you're mistaken, Steve. I'm sorry. Okay. Mr. Hovind made the claim in other videos that is produced stating the geologic column does not exist. That's correct. This is his opinion. That's correct, and it's correct, Pete. Correct opinion, okay? Can he explain how sediments were deposited in geologic basins around the world? For example, the Anadarko Basin in Oklahoma, 30,000 feet of sediments, proven with deep oil wells. Williston Basin, 16,000 feet, etc. Okay? The list goes on. Is Mr. Hovind claiming these sediments were all deposited in a single event? I think I would make that claim, yes. But it's been 4,500 years since the flood. You could have a whole lot of sedimentation in 4,500 years, too. Okay? Let's see. Massive amounts of sediments. Simplest explanation is the layers were deposited over a long period of time, millions of years. Pete, where's the mud coming from? Outer space. I've been saying for a long time, there is no geologic column. It's all fiction. If the layers are different ages, where are they coming from? Outer space? You say the top layer is younger. The Holocene's only 10,000 years old. Wow, but the Archean's 2.5 billion. Where was all the dirt in the Holocene sitting for 2.4999 billion years old? Billion years. Come on. There is no geologic column. Sedimentation can take place very rapidly. Ask anybody that works at a major dam where they've dammed up a river, what's the problem they have with sedimentation up against the leeward side of their dam, okay? Sedimentation, it's a whole field of science. You can take courses and become a sedimentologist, okay? Sedimentation process, geologic process. You just Google it. It can take place very rapidly. I'm sorry, you're mistaken. I think all the sediments we see in the world nearly all of them formed in Noah's flood. We had drugged a bunch of sediments out of our lake in the last couple of months. So that happened pretty quick, didn't it? Gravel pits only been sitting idle 25 years. Now, how deep was the sediment you guys were digging out? 6, 8, 10 feet? All over the place. Yeah. Doesn't take millions of years. Okay. It's funny, you say people don't get away with it with God. At the same time, you brag, someone like Jeffrey Dahmer get to spend life in paradise because he decided to say, I believe in Jeebus. It's Jesus, and you know that user. Okay, you're afraid to say his name? He'll be your judge one day. Yes, Jeffrey Dahmer accepted Christ as his Savior. He watched my videos on science and the Bible. You can get the whole series, $50. His dad, I believe, sent him in to the prison where he was. Jeffrey Dahmer was an evil, evil man, a mass murderer, did horrible things. And God can forgive you based upon the blood of Christ. All of us are evil. There's none we're all sinners. There's none that doeth good, no, not one. So yes, Jeffrey Dahmer got saved, gave his heart to the Lord, became a born-again child of God. Nobody gets away with it. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't get away with it. Jesus paid for it. And Jesus is willing to pay for yours too. Because you're not going to get away with anything. God's got every word you've ever spoken written down. Going to read it back to you Judgment Day. Say, did you say that? Yep. Play the tape. If you deny it. Okay. What are you? Is that a very old English vocabulary? Yeah. The title to what do you do when you're hopeless? Yeah. I made that one up myself. I'm going to start writing part of the English language. Came down here to the South, had to learn all kinds of new words down here. Okay, let's see. No vowels. No vowels. You got vowels in your name. What are you talking about? No. Anyway, hopelessness is always hard. I was raised in a faith-filled, God-loving, fundamentalist Christian home and didn't have any hope until I realized that believing in Jesus and the Bible was just another sick addiction. Sick, deceptive addiction that will destroy your brain and your life like drugs and alcohol. Really? I've been believing it hasn't destroyed me. Let's see. I have faith that someday you can learn that lesson too and learn what real hope is, not that false hope you are trapped with now. Sincerely, a survivor of Christian ritual abuse. Well, I'm sorry somebody abused you, no vowels, but God, you're simply mistaken, okay? You didn't escape Christianity to go to something better. You might have deserted it to go to something worse. But I believed the Bible, tried to follow it for a long time. It's been nothing but great for me. Let's see. Dennis said, it has now really become clear to me Kent Hovind and his followers have no answers to my questions. As for Billy Carson, my comments keep getting deleted. Do you know what he's talking about? Not a clue? I don't know. Well, Dennis, you don't have any videos on your channel. If you want to make some comments, you can comment all you want. Put up a video, make all your comments. Maybe nobody will watch it, but how many people have YouTube channels that nobody watches?
I got one.
You got one? Okay, let's see. The one I did on Whack an Atheist. Aaron Nelson calls himself the sun god. Yeah, okay. Kent tells Aaron to watch his lies in the textbook video, even though he knows Aaron did an entire video series debunking it. So Kent is either off his script or his dementia is getting worse. I gave a comment on that one. You're committing the fallacy of the false dilemma. It's like saying, well, are elephants orange or elephants green? You give two choices, neither of which is correct. And I got to choose one? You're saying, I'm off my script or my dementia is getting worse. Is there another option that maybe I'm right? Is that even a third option in your mind? Okay, let's see. Third option you didn't or can't think of. Aaron's video series didn't debunk any of them. He just talked and repeated the same lies. Pick the very best one you think he debunked and I'll explain it to you. So I cover on my video number 4, Lies in the Textbooks, probably 30 or 35 different lies that they use to teach the dumb evolution religion. And it's dumb and it's a religion, okay? It's stupid. So I cover some of the lies they use in video number 4, $10, or get it with the whole series, $50 if you want. All 8 hours? No. 18 hours, yeah, in the seminar series, the Garden of Eden, the dinosaurs. Anyway, you get the whole thing. You can watch it, copy it, return it, get your money back, minus shipping. Yeah, can't beat a deal like that. Okay, so I'm sorry. Aaron did not debunk any of the things I said on my video series. If pick the best one, send it to me, and say, I think you claimed that this was a lie, and he proved it wasn't. Pick the best one. And what's your name here? I forgot the name. Anyway, and I'll explain it to you. I'll do a whole series just for you, a whole video, a whole sermon just for you. Okay. Ubi. That's not gaslighting at all, bud. You just had a poorly formulated opinion. Atheism is denial based on a lack of evidence. Oh, so you're an atheist because you don't have evidence for God. Let's see. I have never seen the people who make this thing. I don't know where they make it at. But it fits on here. I'd be willing to bet $5 that it was designed to fit on this thing. Would that be reasonable? I don't have to see the designer, do I? Is it reasonable to say this had a designer and it's made to do something? Every cell in your body is more complex than the space shuttle, Gooby. Except maybe your brain cells. And it had to have a designer. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see. So you think atheism is based on a lack of evidence. If there were actual evidence, this would be unreasonable. But there isn't, so it's not. I don't think that sentence makes sense. And agnosticism isn't even denial, so that's not a bad opinion. You're just wrong. Well, Gooby, you don't have evidence for God, so you're not going to believe in him. Do you have evidence for, let's see, gravity? Give me a jar of gravity. Send it in, please. The only reason you're goofing around here in the comments on Kent's video is deep down you know he's right. Don't you? Takes a lot of money to feed Aaron Nelson, especially if he wants to maintain that body weight. I was not going to say anything. As usual, Dr.Dino is putting the scientific smackdown on the atheist and evolutionists so hard their common ancestors are feeling it. The smackdown, okay. Thank you, Damien, for your popular cult videos. Damien was here for a long time. Where's he at now? Texas? Yeah. He did a lot of videos on how dangerous rock music can be and stuff like that. I completely stopped watching movies and listening to secular music because of your videos. Thank you. And thank you, Damien, for all you did here. Come on back when you're ready. Okay. I love your teachings. Can't you change my life? Thank you. I love it when I'm on another website arguing against evolution and atheists call me Kent Hovind. Okay. As if it was some kind of an insult. To me, it's one of the highest honors I can receive. Dr. Hovind has yet to lose a debate while he regurgitates the truth. Good. Thank you, sir. Hey, if this guy's the father of all creation, how can he teach evolution? Talking about Aaron Ra, claims to be the father of all creation. I'll donate the $35. That was to get my name changed. Would that be cool? Make that my official name. I like that. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Kent. Appreciate it. Oh, did I get it? Let's see. Aaron Ra. Okay. Aaron won again and didn't even need to show up. Okay, well, if you think he won, the Simple Skeptic, I Googled, who is this guy? The Simple Skeptic has a YouTube channel, got a couple videos on there, 200 people watch him. Okay, well, I'll debate you if you'd like on my channel or on Standing for Truth. We'll have a debate. There is no evidence for evolution, Simple Skeptic. Okay, call it a challenge. All right, making babies, the love bug one I did. You left out the favorite love bug. It was created in Germany and still alive over 50 years later. Herbie the love bug. How many saw that movie, Herbie the love bug? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Mr. Kent. Mr. Science Kent. Love the videos. Keep them coming. Love you, Doc. Keep up the good work. Hello, Doc. I love your work. God bless you. Okay. You only need to ask this question once. The first species that gained the ability to reproduce. Once that happened, all future species had the ability to reproduce from the start. Well, user, you wonder what he's using. I think I can know. Okay. You're mistaken. That's why I've been pointing out in my Making Babies series, there's lots of different ways that they reproduce, very different ways. No, that's not. At first, this is a dumb statement you made here. You evolve the ability to reproduce. What happened before they evolved that ability? How did they did they live forever? Okay, none of these where I live. That's no love bugs. We have stink bugs. Great lesson. Good job. You make sense. I've watched you for a long time. The poor male. Talk about the love bug getting dragged around backwards all day for 5 days. Gotta hurt. I've heard about having the upper hand in marriage, but this is going to give me nightmares. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hovind. The creation declares the glory of our Creator. God bless. We still need a front-end loader. We've looked at a bunch of them. We got to get one soon. Help us find one, everybody. Somewhere around $15,000 range if we can find a loader. The one in Tennessee they were going to go look at tomorrow. The guy called, said the starter motor's bad. We can't even get it started to even test it. So, oh well. Let's see. Appreciate the hard work preparing these sermons. Want you to know. Thank you, Kevin. Let's see. Dr. Hovind, the question is unrelated to the post, but related to your teaching of the judgments to come regarding the beast that will kill some of mankind. Revelation talks about a third of the population of the world's going to die from pestilence and things like that. And I think you're right. It could be parasites, internal stuff, rather than the likes of bears and lions. Parasites in the body of all forms, shapes, and sizes seem to be highly detrimental and fatal to the human body. I would agree. I think some of it might be that for Revelation. Why do we keep denying evolution as a religion? If it is, what do evolutionists have to gain from that? I can't think of anything we'd have to gain. Well, yeah, user. If you would admit evolution's a religion, then you'd have to get it out of our public schools, wouldn't you? You don't want to do that, do you? Okay. To deny your Creator. They don't want to admit they believe and don't know. You don't know evolution is true. You believe in evolution, okay? Because it isn't a religion. It doesn't require a deity. Yeah, it does. Time is the God that can create everything, fix everything. Yep, got it right behind me here. Let's see. Millions of years. If that doesn't work, try billions of years. Oh, yeah. Not all religions have a deity. Taoism, Buddhism, etc. Believing in common ancestry is a philosophical position, part of a person's personal philosophy, their religion, if you're willing to accept that. Mr. Nelson, I just happened on his channel and said, look at some of the comments on his channel about him. What a great guy he is. It's really admiring how much work this man did over the years without a haircut. Without great pay. You truly care about helping people wake up. I'm grateful for everything you do. Well, Amino, if you're grateful for what he does, turning you away from God, you're going to be regretting that one day. I hate that for you. Thanks, Aaron, for all you do. The theists are running scared. I'm not scared. Church attendance and belief is at an all-time low. That may be true, and it continues to plummet. The Bible says at the end of time, Luke 18:8, Jesus said, when the Son of Man comes, shall he find faith on the earth? There's going to be a great falling away from the faith. I think it's happening. You have to go after people like you who spread the message about truth, rationality, and science facts. Well, TD name. If you think he teaches truth or rationality or science facts, why don't you send in a specific that he teaches the truth about, or a science fact that supports evolution? I'd like to take one topic at a time. Send it to me. They can't deal with facts. I deal with them all the time. It's a fact dogs produce dogs every time. It's not a fact dogs came from an amoeba. That's a religious belief. So they call you bad names and say false things. I don't think I've said anything false about him. So let me know. I'll correct it. I got evidence for God, but I don't want to tell you on a private phone call. Okay. R and Ra, if ever possible, I'd love to meet you and shake your hand. Your videos and your series on evolution broke Christianity within me. See, folks, while we're trying to convert people to the Lord, he and his ilks are trying to convert people away from the Lord. There is a war going on. Get involved. Do something. Pick a side. Put on a uniform. If you want to be an atheist, great. You want to be a Christian, great. But quit playing video games and get involved and do something. Keep up the good work, Aaron. Let's see. Simon Dan. He said evolution is important because of scientific revelations it's one of the most important scientific revelations of our time. You think evolution is important, Dan? Kent Hovind versus Simon Dan. I absolutely love reading about it, talking about evolution, and learning about it, all the little intricacies that exist within the topic. So when I see people deny it, he gets mad. Well, Dan, I'll debate you anytime. Anytime. Bring it on, okay? People like Hovind are so ignorant. I enjoyed this style of video. Well done, does Simon Dan comments. Homology doesn't prove evolution. It proves that all separate it proves that all that separates one homologous structure from the other are micro differences. Oh, there are major differences. But tell you what, Snake was right. Oh, Snake, you're still alive? Good. Tell you what, call in, let's have another debate, okay? Anytime. Call Standing for Truth. Book them. Taking on the biggest evolution denier. Wow. And Hovind, dumber than rocks. Wow, you think so? Who's this guy with the suit on? Sir Sick. Good name. I'll debate you too, anytime. Bring it on. Anyway, that's all I got. Any questions or comments here, brother? Yes, sir. Talk about the coming great deception. If it's possible, he'll deceive even the very elect. Satan knows his time is short, and he is working overtime. I just suspect the 7-year tribulation has started. It starts when a treaty is made to rebuild the temple. Have they made that treaty? I can't prove that, but they sure have been working on stuff over there. In the middle of the 7 years, he breaks the treaty. That's what my chart is all about. Here's the little one and the big one here beside me. This chart covers the whole 6,000-year history of the world, well, 7,000, counting the last one. And that little yellow stripe is greatly expanded up here to give the details of what's called the 70th week of Daniel, the tribulation. I used to believe and teach we get raptured out before the tribulation. Boy, I wish it was true. It's not. We're here for the whole thing. I was confusing tribulation, which is what the world does to us, and wrath, which is what God does to the world. We are not appointed unto wrath. We're not here when the falls. That falls in the day of the Lord while we're up in heaven at the marriage supper of the Lamb. But we're here for the tribulation, and it starts, read Daniel 9:27, when they make a treaty to rebuild that temple. That's when it starts. I don't know. If it hasn't started yet, it's starting real soon. And during that 7 years, many are going to fall away and stop serving the Lord, stop believing. It's going to be a real tough time, a time of tribulation. It tells all about it. Jesus' disciples asked him in Matthew 24, you can read it, and Mark 13 and Luke 21, Lord, when are you coming and what's the sign? And he talks about the tribulation for the next 20 verses. And then he says, I'm coming back after the tribulation when the sun and the moon go dark. Couldn't have been more clear the whole time, and I missed it for a long time. Okay, other questions? Let's see. I completely agree with almost everything, but how do you explain a fossil of a fish eating a fish if animals didn't eat each other before the flood? Well, good point. The Bible doesn't talk about the fish being vegetarians. It says all the creatures on land were vegetarian. Genesis 1 and chapter 2, everything ate plants on land. So fish, maybe were always eating each other. Don't know. Okay, scriptures. How do you fit failed rifts, such as the one in Oklahoma, into your flood model? I guess I'd have to have more details and do some research on that. If the crust of the earth is broken up, and we know it is, I think that happened at the time of the flood when the fountains of the deep broke open. And there are still fault lines all over, and some are moving and shifting around. They're still moving. So a rift, like the Great Rift Valley, they can move up and down, strike fault, slip fault, or they can separate. What's the one in Africa that's separating now? It's actually moving apart. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. More?
Yeah. She asked a different question.
Unexplained supposed difference of the firmament.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a strong believer that before the flood came, there was a firmament, a crystalline canopy above the atmosphere. It says there was water above the firmament. And later it says in Genesis 1 that the firmament is where the birds fly. So it tells us the firmament is the atmosphere. There was a canopy a couple inches thick. The Jews have always taught it was 2 or 3 fingers thick. We covered that on video number 2. That firmament got shattered when the fountains of the deep broke open. It got shattered, and being super cold ice, it will be sucked into the North and South Pole. Ice is magnetic at low temperatures. So we cover that on video number 6, the Hovind theory, where that firmament landed on the North and South Pole, and huge ice caps are still there, probably from that. Okay? And we're working on a video to explain all that. Okay? Could you do a series on sin of communicating with the dead, the Witch of Endor? Brother Meister, have you done anything on that, communicating? I think some of the demons impersonate people. People think, go to a witch doctor and they're going to let you talk to grandma. It's probably a demon impersonating that. Best I can come up with. Okay?
This is kind of related.
Where do you think King Saul went after he killed himself? Well, body certainly went to the grave. I don't think Saul was ever saved. I don't think he ever trusted the Lord. I think he went to hell. But we'll see when we get Judgment Day. You don't go to hell for killing yourself. If you're going to hell, you go there sooner. Okay? Hey, Kent, Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Well, good. John, hey, come on back. Okay? You have a guitar. Do we have a guitar here?
Oh, yeah.
We do?
Yeah, we have one.
Who has one?
Bobby's got one.
Bobby's got, and you got one? Okay. I'm coming all the way from Kentucky with my wife. I love singing and playing for the Lord. Well, come on down, John. We'd love to have you here. Yes, the answer is yes, at least 2 guitars. Do you believe Catholic views such as Mary being an eternal virgin and priests not being allowed to get married? No, I do not, Pedro. I think the Catholics are very wrong on that. It names Jesus 4 brothers and sisters, 4 brothers plus sisters, plural. If Mary is the perpetual virgin, then Joseph gets the prize, okay? No, I think they're wrong, dead wrong on that, okay? Second time I got the end of your live message. Keep them coming, sir. Stir up the hornet's nest. Yay, okay. I love doing it.
All right, last one.
Last one. Jeffrey Dahmer shouldn't be saved, don't you think? He should be punished for what he did. Well, what have you done, Dark something, half? If every sin you've committed was cast on screen for all of us to look at, every time you lusted, every time you lied, every time you stole something, what kind of trouble would you be in? I think we would all be in trouble. That's the great thing about the grace of God and the mercy of God. Jeffrey Dahmer was terrible. You and I and everybody you know probably deserves the same judgment. Okay? All right, my throat's about dead here. And more? Crybaby, thank you. Different lines of evidence give the same arrangement of the tree of life. We get essentially the same results, whether we look at morphology, biology, biochemical, or genetic traits. I'll tell you what, put my screen back up here, just for you, crybaby. Billy, adjust the camera there. Okay. The tree of life, the same results every time. I agree. Crybaby, for once, I'm going to agree with you. Every time humans make babies, they are human. Every time birds make babies, they are birds. Every time reptiles make babies, they are reptiles. Every time. Ladybugs, when they have babies, they're always ladybugs. Now, who drew the lines connecting them? That person was a moron, okay? But yeah, the pine trees always make baby pine trees. No exceptions. And the worms, they have baby worms. Yep, they're not all connected to a common ancestor. The tree of life is pure baloney, okay? This is dumb. But yes, I think humans always make humans, and trees always make trees, and sharks always make baby sharks. That's observable, testable, demonstrable. That is science. The rest of those lines connecting them is not science. It's imagination. Imagination. Okay, that's it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Making babies. I won't tell you which one I'm going to do because I may change it, but I'm on a roll here on this one. Half the night last night. See you tomorrow. Bye.